Do you agree with the Bush Doctrine?
In what respect, Charlie?
I remember when Sarah Palin was asked about the Bush Doctrine, and Sarah Palin said, "What doctrine is that?" And everyone said, "Well, of course, it's a doctrine about preemptive war." But there's another Bush Doctrine. The doctrine of spreading democracy. And the doctrine that if one country has democracy, others will follow. Because everyone wants democracy. Yes, the forgotten Bush Doctrine. That democracy spreads on its own. Kind of like the Word of God. It just evangelizes itself. Well, guess what? Democracy doesn't spread on its own. Never has, never will. Democracy, if you can call it that, is a Greek-Roman tool of oppression based on a set of values and on a value system that only Europeans could have, because Europeans are forward-thinking people.
America's a much younger nation, but we made our mark by advancing ideals as old as the pyramids.
Dark-skinned people don't think over the horizon. They don't think ahead in time. They don't wonder about tomorrow. Dark-skinned people are people who seize the day, people who seize the moment, people who are always in the now. Dark-skinned people, music is always repetitive. It's always continuing something that's already happening. White people, music is always evolving, always changing, always exploring and reaching. And it's a different kind of ethnic mentality that white people would invent a system of government based on what might happen.
And I'll say no, and they'll push, and I'll say no, and they'll push again, and I'll say to them, read my lips.
And other people would rather invent governments based on what already has happened or on what has already happened, as is the case with the kingdoms. You have like a kingdom, Islam has kingdoms, Judaism began as a kingdom, the throne of David. These governments are based on what has happened. It's based on who your father was and who your mother was and your genealogy. These are kingdoms, these are governments based on things that happened in the past.
His imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie I, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, King of kings, Emperor of Ethiopia.
And what we're trying to do is, and you can look at Africa. Africa has a lot of dictatorships because Africans have governments not based on what's happened in the past or what may happen in the future, but based on what's happening at the present time. Who is the strongest person at the present time?
Advance.
That person will lead us.
Advance.
The white race doesn't have a government based on what has happened or what is happening. They have government based on what may happen tomorrow. And that's why the phrase, ballots not bullets, means something to white people. It doesn't mean anything to someone who doesn't think ahead, okay? And what white people are now trying to do is spread by the sword their brand of freedom, which doesn't make sense to someone who isn't concerned about what could happen tomorrow. Because a black person figures, tomorrow, the next strongest guy will just be the leader. And the Asian person thinks tomorrow, the son of our leader will become the new leader. Because they think in the past, they think in the now. White people think tomorrow, there could be a battle over who becomes leader. So we gotta stop that by having a democracy where we can pick our own leaders before they come to office. That's ridiculous. And that's why we have rules over who becomes leader. We have vice president and speaker of the House. The whole white governmental system is based on what could possibly happen tomorrow. And that's not a concern shared by Arabs, blacks, Jews, Asians, or anybody else, really, that isn't a visionary, white, forward-thinking, over-the-horizon person like the Europeans tend to be.
I would love to go back. I really would. And as long as my military career allows it, and politically it's allowed, then I will serve my country as any other soldier.
So why are we forcing other people into our mold? I haven't thought that far ahead, to be honest with you. All I do know is that it's not going to work. Because you can't get Asians to suddenly adopt white lifestyles. You can't get black people to suddenly prioritize the future and also to devalue what's happening now in favor of what's happening in the future. That's a white gift. It's great, but they can keep it. We don't want democracy. We want our forms of government that come from our mentalities, not your forms of government or any white person marching in and telling us how to live. We already know how to live.